Chapter 1. The Unfinished Letter. Hello, my name is Eliza Carter. If you were to meet me, you'd probably think I was just another face in the crowd. Average height, light brown hair usually pulled into a messy bun, and an ever-present pen tucked behind my ear. I'm 27, a freelance writer who survives on coffee and deadlines. Most of my work revolves around art and culture. But my passion has always been mysteries. I live in a small rented cottage on the outskirts of Windmere, a sleepy English town known for its foggy mornings and quiet charm. People here mind their own business, except for the occasional gossip about the latest market scandal, or who's dating whom, the kind of place where life moves so slowly. It feels like time itself has given up trying. But that was before I found the letter. It all started on an ordinary Tuesday evening. Rain pattered against my window as I sat on the floor, rearranging my bookshelf. One of the floorboards creaked louder than usual, and out of habit, I pressed down to check if it was loose. To my surprise, the board lifted slightly. Curiosity got the better of me. Beneath the plank was a small compartment, just big enough to hide a book, or in this case, a letter. The paper was yellowed with age, its edges frayed. I unfolded it carefully, the handwriting shaky but legible. To whoever finds this, please uncover the truth about my disappearance. I know it seems impossible, but if you're reading this, it means I'm already gone. My name is Isabella Hawthorne. The name stopped me cold. Everyone in Windmere knew the legend of Isabella Hawthorne. 50 years ago, she vanished without a trace. Some said she ran away. Others whispered darker theories involving betrayal, love, and murder. Over the years, her story faded into an unsolved mystery. Nothing more than a ghost story. Parents told their children to keep them out of trouble. I read the letter again, trying to make sense of it. The handwriting seemed genuine, but the cynic in me thought it might be a hoax. Still, there was something about it that felt real. I was just about to stash it back under the floorboards when a sharp knock at the door startled me. Who could that be at this hour? I muttered, my heart racing. When I opened the door, a man stood there, drenched from head to toe in the rain. His hazel eyes locked onto mine with an intensity that made me uneasy. "Sorry for showing up unannounced," he said, his voice calm but firm. "My name is James Hawthorne. I believe you're staying in the old Miller cottage?" "Yes," I replied hesitantly. "Why?" "This cottage once belonged to my great-aunt Isabella," he explained. "I'm here to find out what happened to her." Chapter 2. The Stranger with Secrets. James Hawthorne stood at my doorstep, rain-soaked and intense. "I'm sorry for disturbing you," he began. "This cottage once belonged to my great-aunt Isabella Hawthorne. I need to know what happened to her." The name made my heart skip. I gestured for him to come inside, unsure why I trusted him. James entered cautiously, glancing around the room before his gaze settled on the letter I'd left on the table. "What's that?" he asked. I hesitated. Could I trust him? Finally, I handed him the letter. He read it, his face turning pale. "This is her handwriting," he murmured. "Where did you find this?" "Under the floorboards," I replied. James sank into the chair, his expression a mix of disbelief and determination. "My family doesn't talk about Isabella. They act like she never existed. I've spent years trying to piece together the truth, but all I have are rumors, betrayal, forbidden love, even murder." He looked at me, his hazel eyes pleading. "You've already found more than I ever could. Please, will you help me?" I hesitated. This was a stranger, and the mystery surrounding Isabella felt far too personal. But the pull of the unknown was too strong. "All right," I said, "but only if we work as equals. If this gets dangerous, we stop." James smiled. relief softening his features. "Deal." As he left, the storm outside raged on, matching the turmoil brewing inside me. I'd started the day as a quiet observer of life, but now I was a part of a mystery decades in the making, and I had a feeling that neither James nor I would emerge from this unchanged. Chapter 3. A Dance of Shadows. The next morning, James and I met at the town library. It was a quiet, sunlit place, with tall windows that overlooked Windmere's cobbled streets. James had brought along a small leather journal, a family heirloom, he said, that once belonged to Isabella. "This diary might help," he explained, flipping through its brittle pages. "But most of it is either faded or torn. The last entry is particularly strange." He handed me the book, pointing to a passage written in trembling script. He promised we would leave together, but I can feel eyes watching me, even in my own home. "If anything happens to me, Henry, you must—" The sentence ended abruptly. The ink smeared as though Isabella had been interrupted mid-thought. "Henry?" I asked, looking up at James. "I don't know who he is," James admitted, "but he might have been someone important to her. A lover, perhaps." We decided to split up to gather more clues. James would visit the town hall to search for records, while I stayed behind to comb through the archives. Hours passed as I sifted through yellowed newspapers and brittle photographs, searching for anything connected to Isabella. Finally, I stumbled upon an article from 1972, the year she vanished. The headline read, "Prominent Hawthorne heiress missing, police suspect foul play." The article described Isabella as a spirited young woman, with a love for music and literature, but it also hinted at conflict within the Hawthorne family. Her father, Edward Hawthorne, had been a strict and controlling man, unwilling to tolerate disobedience from his only daughter. Just as I finished reading, James returned, his expression grave. He placed a faded photograph on the table. It was a picture of Isabella standing beside a tall, broad-shouldered man. Her smile was radiant, but there was something in her eyes, a mix of fear and longing. On the back of the photo, someone had scrawled the words, "Forever yours, Henry." "I found this in the town hall records," James said. It was buried under a stack of unfiled documents. "Do you think this Henry could have been her lover?" "It seems likely," I replied, my mind racing. "But if that's true, why would someone go to such lengths to hide their connection?" Before James could respond, the librarian approached us, her expression nervous. "Excuse me," she whispered. "I overheard you talking about Isabella. If you're looking for answers, you should be careful. People in this town don't like to dwell on the past." With that cryptic warning, she disappeared into the stacks, leaving James and me more determined than ever. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, Fluent Through Stories, and share this story with your friends. Stay tuned for our next story. See you soon.